With this head here, somebody had already put bronze guides in it, so I had to use this tool here, which goes in and takes the old bronze guide out. Now we're putting a new one in. On one of the heads, it was cracked right down the side of the guide. When I tried to come up from the bottom and push it out, it split, so I went ahead and pulled it apart. One of them is going to have to be core drilled for a hardened 502 guide. Basically, it's real simple. You take the liner, and this one's beveled with the rings in it on the inside for oiling. I like it better, so I put it in there, take my two fingers and squeeze them, and I always try to put it at the top where I know where it's located. And then I run the guide down. I always have my finger on the other end so that I can feel it when it starts to come through and then stop. So basically this is just standard step, nothing trick here. That's all there is to it. What comes after is the trick. Where most places just run a broach through there, which I'll show you in a minute, I go a step further and hand hone the guide to get it perfect. Okay, the next part, of course, is removing the excess. This tool's got a little point that adjusts by a hex key, and it sticks out, I'd say probably about 100 thousandths. So I go in there and find the split and then make a rotation. Boom, that's it. I'll go right down the line. That removes all the excess. Then on the top, I just touch it with the drill. I'll show you that part where it just kind of leaves a baby chamfer on it. Although some people don't agree with it, it's what I do. Alright, okay, this is a broach right here, and it's got two little bumps. Them bumps are close to a size that's designated on the end of this as being 343.5. So basically you put it in. I'm going to show you how it's done. I usually get it, that right there is kind of an older one, so it puts them about 1/1000 undersize, or 1/2 thousand, so I can finish it up with a hand hone. Okay, now that's all I do, because I know that the valves ain't going to fit in it. It's going to be close, it'll be snug, but I hand hone them fitment to size. Okay, I just wanted to show you how I broach them. We'll get to the fitment here in a little bit. Next step is I just barely kiss the top of it with a rounded cylinder ball. Sometimes I have a little overhang. There we go. And that way that takes care of that. Now, the next thing is you're going to have a little bit of a sharp edge at the top, of course, where we just did that. And I'm looking for a tool. And what I'm going to do is go in here and put a chamfer on this side, a little bevel, to make it slide in and out easy. Because remember, you can't have any type of resistance or it can falsify the clearance of the guide. So all I do is I go through this, and I do the bottom side of it too. Get back to that to you in a minute. Okay, now I'm going to hit the guide. And you just keep looking till you see what's left of it gone. Usually it appears right on the end. There it is, the little clip. And then you've got a really good shape in there with a little bit of a chamfer in it. Then you go in there just like we did on the other ones. You take your pointed chamfer. Notice how it's tapered all the way up. Let it go in there, and then you make a couple of turns. Now you ain't got nothing falsifying what you're going to determine is clearance on the valve on both ends. That's what you have to do. You have to chamfer both. Alright. we'll get into valve fitment when I finish the rest. As you can see here, it's got a tight fitment. The way to tell is to have the valve guide straight up and down, 90 degree perpendicular to the surface of whatever you're setting the head on, and then you get up here and you release it, and as you can see, it's stuck. It's not got a clean drop. It's like that, see, on most every one of them. And I did run the chamfer through the top. That's because like I said, the broach that I use, I leave 1/1000 undersize. See, look, that one won't really fit in. So what I must do now is go in there and take the hand hone, and I finish them, and this makes for a really good job. It puts a crosshatch on the guides and makes them size to fit. So let me show you what that involves here. This is one of my claims to fame. Every head that comes through Head Bites, the guides are custom fit, hand honed to size, and that makes all the difference in the world. It's like hand honing a cylinder bore. A lot of shops around here don't have one of these, and I don't know how the hell they get around it. Very expensive tool, but it ain't that bad. If you're doing quality work, you have to have it. This is a sun-in hone-all with all the different stones and honing blocks and everything, so that you can attach this to a drill. Usually, a lot of people use a reducer, and it goes inside the valve guide and hones it to its size. Let me get you a side view shot. What we're going to do right here is, it's called truing the stone, and basically this is a truer. If you got your stone on here, which I do, you got to run this through there, because this right here is a super hard steel, maybe even tungsten, I'm not sure. But you slide it on and you release the pressure on it to get it on, and it's made so you can grip it in your hand. Make sure you got a little bit of WD-40 on it, and then basically you just kind of hold it and do this. Now that felt a little loose, so I got to stop and tighten it up. You have to do this. If you don't, then what you're doing when you're honing the guide is you're not making it straight. Now there we go. Go all the way out, all the way in, where over half of it's passed. Get you a couple of good passes, and then there you go. Now you release it, and it's ready now to hone the guides. This is done so that it makes the stone true, because like anything else, boring a block or anything, if that stone isn't true, then it's going to hone the guide crooked. Which, another thing you have to do is rotate the head so that you're making a pass from this side of the head, rotate the head over and hit the other. That way you make the valve guide true and the stem clearance correct. Alright, I'm going to set you up in a different position so you can see how I do it. Okay, now I've got the head laid back. I'm going to shoot me a little juice on there. A little bit of WD-40. They actually have a machine, which I've got it. I've ran out of the solvent 140 that I set up in here to keep fluid. So when I do it like this, I have to have a constant stream shots of WD-40. It ain't the best way to do it, but it gets the job done. Anyway, you can see right here my fingers where I'm tightening this. I get it kind of snug, and I shoot the WD, and I keep it at a slow movement. Alright, then I stop, pull it out, see what the valve feels like going in. Okay, that's pretty good, but I'm going to have to turn the head around and hit the other side. So what I'm going to do is get them where I barely feel them go in, and then I'm going to turn it around and hit from the other side to make sure the guide is true. Okay, that's all I wanted to show you on that, and I'll show you the other side when I hit it. That makes a perfect guide job, because remember, the life of the valve job is in the valve guide itself. You don't got that right, the valve job ain't going to be worth a darn. Okay, now what we're going to do is I come around from this side I got the valve pretty much sized, but I have to come in here and kiss them off this way. Okay, so I go in there and get it good and tight. Shoot me a touch of WD in there for starters. And I go in there. Alright, that's all I needed right there. Okay, so then I pull it out. And I should have a perfect clearance with that hole good and straight. I do have a micrometer I use to measure, but let's just see what we got with the valve. Man, that's just about perfect. You can't hardly wiggle it. I can tell that there's just enough clearance in it to be what it's supposed to be. Alright, so I'll finish hitting the rest of these right here and then do the other head, get all that done, and then they'll all be custom hand hung. But I just wanted to show you how I do that, hit it from the other side and then redo it. So